Hey Pisces, welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot. Good morning. I'm having my morning coffee with you. And happy birthday. So now that, a happy birthday, and by the way, here's the bad news. It's not really bad news. Pisces, sometimes I know the transits and what are going, what's going on, what's coming up for all of us, but when I step into your energy and I start to meditate and I kind of lay out your chart and I look at what major energies are hitting what houses, and once in a while I do that and I see a setup like I did with you this morning, and wow, there is such an unfolding here. I think Pisces are stepping into such a transformation, and here's why. Your 12th house is getting hit. It starts this month and it really sets off a new 2-year cycle with Saturn. So this isn't just something that is going to sweep in really quick. This is slow. There's a tearing apart and then a putting back together. And when it's in your 12th house, well, I mean, you're a Pisces, so you're familiar with that 12th house theme. It's the undoing, it's the surrender. But I think as Saturn moves through Aquarius in your 12th house, it talks to me a lot about connection. And I have to say, from my recent experience, I went through, the major transit and that conjunction. It actually happened to be on the very end of my 12th house going into my first house cusp. So I feel like I could help you to understand this a little better because I've recently gone through so much in that area of life. And what the 12th house can do for you, it's a little bit like the 8th house, as in there's shadow sides of us. The 12th house, again, is where we have to surrender, where we have to give things up to faith. When Saturn goes in there, it tries to firm that up. And Saturn represents karma. It also, to me, represents karmic relationships. And so sometimes these 12th house transits bring people to you that are past life connections maybe from your past in this lifetime, but really they're connected to paths of destiny for you. And as Neptune is making its way close to the third decan of Pisces, which is the ultimate surrender, it is the spiritual understanding. Venus touring your third house of communication and how you express yourself. North Node getting ready to transfer over to your fourth house. You have a full moon in your 7th house, a new moon in your 2nd house coming up. All in these next couple of weeks, there's such tremendous energy for change, and it's for stepping into your own. It's for reflecting. Mars is still going over your 11th house, but as Mars goes through, Mars will expose fears at the south as it connects to the South Node. It will bring movement towards expansion as it hits Jupiter. As it hits Pluto, it's going to bring in passions, obsessions. It's going to highlight all of these areas. Your 11th house, it could be a house where things are easy. It's your social life, your friends, your groups, your associations. You could see friends that are going through really life-changing events, major losses, things where other people need you. But it could also represent, your 11th house is your house of manifestation, your gains, your hopes and wishes. It is a very spiritual house. So the Uranus activation, as Venus links up with Uranus in, I believe, this 2nd or 3rd week in March, I think that's going to activate a lot of moments of destiny for Pisces. Now, of course, this is dependent on your chart and the degrees, and if you have the knowledge and know how to do that, you want to look for the degree points of these aspects. If they're hitting certain points in your chart, then it will highlight your life even more, but there's really potential for a mass amount of movement and change, self-realization, stepping into an area where you have to learn how to express yourself. But Pisces, I think you've been a little lost. I think maybe there's been questions around who you are for yourself. I think as everybody right now in this planetary energy, we all feel like we've changed. We're different people now. We don't really know how. We haven't seen or put it to the test yet. But something deep within us is different. And so in March, we're all going through a phase where we're learning to be that new version of ourselves. There's some trials and tribulations. And I've said this to a couple other signs. Our legs are shaky, like a newborn doe. We're just learning how to walk in this existence, in this version of ourselves. So there's a need to be gentle. There's a need for ease. In the first 2 weeks, as we're still in this Mercury retrograde, that is a time for that. A time to be gentle with yourself. Keep things, you don't have to make the big decisions right now, because quite literally the big decisions are going to make themselves at the end of the month. This part is about internal processing. It is cleaning and purging things out of your subconscious, your fears. It's the final phase of that shadow work before we're ready to move on to big, audacious new endeavors. So there's a settling here. There is a quietness and a calmness amidst maybe some trauma, because it's not all quiet. Like right now we have Venus squaring Pluto, and then she's going to make a square to Saturn. Mars on the south node, it's about to trine Uranus. We have all kinds of Uranus energy coming up as well. Everything's about Venus. We have a Sun sextile Neptune, which is your first house. So yes, there are things that are happening, and yet you're still going to feel like you're in this energy where things aren't happening. You're still in the dark. You still don't know, and that's because Spirit wants you to make decisions based on how you feel. And in order to do so, you have to get quiet and understand how you feel. These aren't logical decisions that are being made right now. They're sudden opportunities, sudden realizations, downloads that are coming to us. And they're creating an energy where we're learning to exude some patience, some control over our emotions, mastery. We're not panicking. We're not reacting to things. And it's a real grown-up, mature kind of energy. I think a lot of us have been through the drama, right? Like eclipse season, there was so much drama. And there was so much that we had to react to. There was so much being taken from us. There's a power struggle. Whenever Pluto's involved, there's a power struggle of some sort. So there was a push and the pull. And I think now we just entered this phase in February with the retrograde Mercury, where we knew we had to just sit back for a minute and just sort of let things process. And whatever's going on in the outer world, we have this mature outlook, like parts of it are going to work itself out, and I don't have to give this so much of my energy and attention. So like I said, it's really mature. There's a knowing here. Let's get into the cards, shall we? I really like your energy, Pisces. I feel like immense patience. For the amount of... I'm not that's a lot. I'm not taking. They'll come back out if they're meant to. For the amount of changes and transformation that Pisces are going through, they're, wow. Okay, well, these are clearly your cards. Yeah, what did I say? The drama in the past, the conflict and the drama, and then the knowing. Wow. Thank you, Spirit. High Priestess in the current energy, man. I knew it. I felt it. I feel it. Like, Pisces, you got this. Even if it's extremely stressful, even if it's something where in the past you might have been freaking out, right? We're not freaking out anymore. Oh, yeah. What did I say? Transformation. Oh. Every sign. Almost every single sign I've done so far, challenge card, 4 of Swords. How funny. But they all mean a little bit of a different take, and I'll explain it to you as we get into your energy. This is really beautiful. This is all about that transformation. Transformation towards what? Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about it. And we're going to clarify, but I just want to capture this energy really well for you because in the past you were faced with a lot of conflict. And I'm hearing competition. So I think somebody tested your self-worth here, Pisces. And I think instead of allowing it to destroy you, instead of allowing it to destroy you, you allowed it to trigger you. And it triggered you in a really healthy way. Because instead of falling victim to, I don't see any 9 of Swords here. I don't see any of that energy. This catapulted you. Because instead of losing yourself in the self-pity or the victimization, instead of saying, oh, well, maybe if I was better, if I was prettier, if I had more money, I could have done this. If my life were different, I wouldn't have to struggle like this. But you didn't. You didn't do that. Instead, this conflict, this confrontation, this drama, whatever you've been through, you used it to draw a really strong boundary. 8 of Wands in reverse. This talks to me a little bit differently because it's coming out next to the High Priestess. So this isn't just about blocking communication with a person. This is what it's about. You drew a boundary here and you stood up for yourself. And you did cut off communication, but here again, I'm getting that feeling that in doing so, the boundary was you didn't allow this conflict to affect your self-esteem and self-worth. High Priestess, current energy, you know, Pisces, you know what you bring to the table, you know what you have to offer. You know somewhere in here there is a bigger picture that you're moving towards, and you're not allowing other people's opinions or demands. You're not allowing other people's ego to stop you from where you're headed, from this point of destiny. And this is what I'm telling you about this 12th house transit. It will transform you completely. It will change your life in ways you couldn't imagine. It will bring people to you and create connections. And Pisces, you feel that right now. And whatever this was, there has to be a level of gratitude for it, even if it was a shitty situation. Even if this was a friend or a loved one that did something or said something really shitty to you. This was a test in your internal strength. Amazing. All right. Challenge card again. Four of Swords. Sometimes I see this when it comes up as a challenge card. Ooh, I'm hearing self-doubt. Okay, so watch this. Now, this isn't saying this is going to happen, but watch for it. Watch for the self-doubt. Watch for the analysis paralysis. Again, for everybody. Being in this quiet Mercury retrograde kind of energy, there's the going within, and that's exactly what we're supposed to do at this time. There's a resting, they're connecting to spirit, the meditating, to going within for the answers, because that's where they are. And everything is being divinely guided at this time. When planets retrograde, that's what happens. We surrender to divinity and divine timing, and we allow pieces of the puzzle to be put together for us. But this is a warning that you can't stay in this energy too long. And that's what I'm telling you. That's why I'm doing a first half of March and then a mid-month reading, because the energies are so different. The chill energy right now is going to abruptly stop mid-March. So this is just energy for the next 2 weeks. And then you have to abruptly get up and move. It's not working within right now. I think you're keeping to yourself, but at some point you're going to have to speak the truths. You're going to have to make the moves. You're going to have to announce things, or, let people in. And so don't stay in this energy too long. This energy is temporary. And why? Because you have a major change coming. Death card, one of my absolute favorite cards, and it's a card of Scorpio. The Death card is complete transformation, and looking at this card right now, sometimes I could look at a card and know exactly what Spirit wants me to get from it. Sometimes you look at a card and you see certain aspects of the picture, or you remember certain parts of the story, and you pick up on different themes. Pisces, you are leaving your past behind, and I mean far behind you. Your disappointments. You're finding your strength, and the people around you are sort of at your mercy in a way. Because again, with those boundaries and the feeling that where you're headed, where you're going, that you're not accepting other people's opinions anymore. This is so grown up. You're not hearing it. You're not interested in them anymore. This horse, this white horse, it's a white horse. So there's purity, there's purging and purity, and the white horse has red eyes, so there's also passion and drive. And he walks through, proudly. It sort of reminds me of the Leo card, Six of Wands. The card of victory. It's like that energy, but the Six of Wands, the Leo, in that he was young, he was naive, he was appreciative of the attention no matter what form it came in. This Death card, it's very similar in the pride and the ego and the way they walk through, but they're proud. Their victory has been that they've been through some shit, right? They've seen some shit, Pisces. You've seen some shit. And you've restructured yourself, and you've decided, when you go through periods like that, it gives you a real good idea of what really matters, right? And so Pisces knows what really matters, and the things that don't, you're not giving any energy to anymore. You're stepping right over them, even if they're begging you. I mean, you look, there's people begging for mercy. and you pay no attention to it. I think it's leaving a lot of your past behind and a lot of past versions of yourself. The version of you that feels like a victim, that your life could have been so different had other people not let you down. That has to stop. The version of you that is vulnerable and needy and you feel like you can't stand on your own. Done. Goodbye. The version of you that feels like you have to bend and break yourself for other people. No more. No. It's about Pisces now. It's about going after your dreams, and you're not taking any victims. You're moving on in such a prideful manner. And 9 of Pentacles in reverse, overall energy, you're refusing to feel alone anymore. That's a big one. Chew on that for a second. Pisces doesn't want to be alone anymore. And the thing about a Pisces is they could be surrounded by 100 people, and Pisces can still feel very alone. So it's not about the actual needing of people. It's not about needing other people just to simply be there. It's about now you want real connection. Now you want that real partnership. That best friend, lover, somebody you could depend on, someone that you could tell your secrets to, someone that you could be vulnerable with. The surface stuff isn't going to work anymore. All right, let's clarify a little bit. Although this is so clear, it's so clear I have goosebumps down my spine. So what a beautiful reading. All right, so let's take a look at this High Priestess. Well, no. Let's just see. What do we have for this 5 of Swords, Spirit? Again, this was a past energy. Could have been something that you recently went through. It could just be inner conflict, really. Sometimes the conflict doesn't have to involve other people. It's, again, that subconscious work that I'm talking about that we're going through. But it could be conflict with Mars going through your 11th house. That is a lot of dealing with other people and other people's opinions, needs. So there could be that level there. Okay. Okay. Yeah. This conflict, like I was saying, it catapulted you into stability and into knowing what you want, because instead of, wow, this is so good. Huh. Conflict. It leads to healing. And it leads to stability. Believe it or not. This was like something that had to happen. Something that had to happen because there was some kind of a healing that had to occur. If this is with somebody else, you know, sometimes people, especially, you know, these karmic past life relationships, if this is a really close, significant person in your life, a child, a partner, a parent, a very best friend, sometimes part of the contract is that they have to hurt us or that we have to hurt them. And it's not that we want to or that there's malicious harm against it, but there's lessons there that help us grow as a person. And so this may have come from somebody that was really unexpected, making it probably a little bit more painful. But again, it actually, it triggered a wound in order for it to be healed. So again, there's gratitude for whatever this was, because it led you to finding your stability. And I feel like realizing what your real dreams and wishes are, what you really want. And I'm getting in a partnership. 8 of Wands in reverse, clarified by an Ace of Cups. So that's odd. In the quietness, I think you realized in a period of making no moves, no action, not taking action. This could be a period where there was no communication at all, or just distance between you and another person, blocking of communication I'm seeing. Oh, in that stillness and that quietness, someone, you or the other person, realized how much love and emotions they had for the situation. Let's see if we can get one more card here. Minutes. Oh, these readings, I wanted them to be shorter and they're just not. Four of Cups. Under that, okay, well, there's a real duality there, because it's telling me that one person realized they were very much in love, and one person taking the entire situation for granted. You know, that Four of Cups, it's boredom, it's... Okay. Ooh, no, wait. I'm getting two different things here, and I guess you'll just know what fits with you better. Either there's a duality here where one person truly has these feelings of love, wants to make an emotional offer very badly, wants to come forward and create a union. They want to tell you how much they love you, or you want to tell them how much you love them. But there's also an energy of discontent and boredom. So yeah, no, I feel like this energy is whoever cut off communication had an awakening to their feelings and realized that without you in their life, everything seems lackluster, okay? There's no satisfaction. And this could be you too. If somebody walked away and there was a separation, you're really unhappy with the time apart. It gave you a chance to realize how much this person adds to your life, and that when they are not in your day-to-day existence, things seem gray and boring and unsatisfactory. High Priestess, Fool in reverse, Two of Wands. There is movement. There is opportunity, but not yet. It's coming, and you know it's coming. High Priestess. Here we go. Okay. Oh, interesting. A Fool in reverse. You know that at some point there's going to be a leap of faith, but you also know that it's not time yet. You'll know when it's time, but for now you are in manifestation mode. So maybe no major proclamations of love have been made. Nobody has come forward yet. You feel like it's coming, but you're really using this inner wisdom. And you may be realizing that right now, even if it seems unlikely, dream big. Dream big, because things will happen for you. And if you are lost in negative thoughts, thought processes of lack, if you are not feeling abundant, you're not going to manifest the abundant things. So be careful with your thoughts right now, Pisces, because they're extremely powerful. Oh, okay. Spirit wanted this one here. Okay. Let me clarify this Death card. Lots of good advice for you this month on exactly what not to do. Spirit's been really good about that. Okay. Yeah. Wow, that's a lot. Oh, that's a loaded outcome. Interesting. Okay, so let's talk about your challenge cards really quick. 32 minutes. Really quick, my ass. Okay. We gotta do it. Lord Almighty. Challenge number 1. 4 of Swords. Like I said, don't get stuck in that energy too long, but do it. Meditate, have a daily practice. Make sure you're checking in with yourself regularly, but don't get lost and so secluded in your mind that you allow it to create stress and worry. Make sure that you're actually meditating and surrendering instead of just taking time to think about all the things that could go wrong. The Swords could be very stressful and anxiety ridden. So there's a balance here in controlling your thoughts. 9 of Cups in reverse. And I'm hearing right away, do not appear desperate. So there might be a part of you that really, really wants this connection, that really, really doesn't want to be alone anymore, like we talked about. But that has to come from a place of internally knowing you want a connection and not being so attached to the outcome. Because once you make the decision, Pisces, to no longer want to feel alone, or, then you have to allow the universe to deliver, and you can't decide how or who they're going to deliver to you. You just, nobody knows better than they do. So if there's a breaking up, it's to make space for somebody else to come in. This stands for friendships, anything. any energy in your life that leaves, something opens up and comes in. It happens all of the time. It happens every single time, as a matter of fact. Every single time. So that is the idea of endings and beginnings. Whenever something ends, something new begins. That's the way the universe works. So drop any feeling of desperation. Also, activate that high priestess wow, I'm just hearing also secrets being revealed. Somebody may be talking to you, making some sort of a confession in some way. I don't see anything really horrible, so I don't think it's like a third party situation or anything devastating like that. But in somehow you're going to come into a knowing and an understanding of this situation. Interesting. Nine of Cups, also in a challenge card. Not typically a challenge card, but I have to tell you, I am not always crazy about... Oh, that's really interesting. I'm not always crazy about the Nine of Cups because I know it's like the wish fulfillment. Everything's going to work out. You're going to get your dreams, wishes, and desires. But sometimes I see it as somebody who's really full of themselves. Sometimes I see it as somebody who requires some overindulgence here. So I feel like this person here, be this you or the other person, is actually protecting their emotional well-being with their ego. Be careful with that. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. I think it was Scorpio I just went through this with as well. You can't mess it up. By doing or saying something, by being yourself, you cannot mess up what's meant for you. So there's a level here where the stripping of the ego has to be done, or you may be dealing with somebody who has to drop their ego in order to share emotions and communicate actual feelings here. And if you look, I feel like there's passion and love here. I feel like you may have gone through a period of a lot of swords, a lot of stress, mental worry and strife. You know, swords always talk to me about these illusions we build in our mind, the self-fulfilling prophecies that we tend to create. And so I feel that we're leaving that behind. And we're moving into a lot of cups and wands. So there's a lot of love in this situation, and there's a lot of passion and desire for each other. I'm seeing a lack of pentacles in a way where there's a lack of building the foundation, taking the first steps. And I think that's the energy that's about to break here. And it has to be broken by being talked about. So King of Cups in reverse, don't manipulate the situation. Don't create a situation in which this person has to save you or vice versa. Don't try to control the situation or your emotions. Let them unfold naturally, so that if you do take a step to rebuild, restructure, come together, create a foundation of some sort with this person, you know it's on a foundation that's true. That it's not a situation that was manipulated in order for you to get what you want, or in order for that other person to get what they want. So come at it real, you know, because if it doesn't feel good, you should never have to force anybody that's meant for you to be with you. You should never have to talk anybody into it. Sometimes there's a periods where people have to get over fears, triggers, you know, there's a healing process that takes place. And yeah, love is never always going to be 100% perfect, or it's not meant to be. That's not how it goes. When you love somebody, you help each other grow, and sometimes in the bad things you grow as well. So there's an element here where you have to be really careful on all fronts. Control your thoughts. Don't come off as desperate. Take time to build the foundations not very slowly. I mean, I'm not telling you not to move on the situation, but pay attention to the foundation of it. Watch for overindulgence, and watch for relying too much on your ego and protecting your emotions. Be careful there, because there may be a lack of, you know, with the Eight of Wands in reverse, a lack of communication on how you feel. And I feel like both parties maybe aren't real clear on how the other person is feeling. King of Cups in reverse, manipulating a situation. Outcome. Death card. Clarified by the Emperor. I get a real strong vibe here. Of coming into your own power. That's exactly what I see. Okay. Thank you. Death card next to, I see it going this way. Stepping into your own power, Pisces, as the Emperor, and I see like this transformation is actually, it's moving you right towards that Emperor. So whatever transformation or interchange that you're going through is creating that path directly to stability. This could be in the form of a stable lover, a new job opportunity, a new love opportunity. And the death is representing overcoming this. What's transforming is the fact that you feel trapped, like you can't make changes in your life. You may be trapped in a relationship you're not happy about, trapped in a job that you're not happy about, and maybe that's what needs to change here. By keeping yourself trapped, and sometimes I see this in your thinking and your thought processes, not believing in yourself, feeling like you're not capable of change. And that's what's keeping you in this karmic loop. So you have to change that. And once that change occurs, the Emperor is going to turn that upside down. And clarifying all of that is a strength. And that is this. Okay, so it's Leo. You may be dealing with a Leo. I see, and not just in the cards that I'm getting, but I'm also picking up an energy where they're showing me a lot of Leo activity in my head. So just throwing that out there, or you may have Leo. But, you know, this is kind of the taming of our egos. The Strength card represents to me divinity. This is the divine coming in and gently guiding you and giving you the strength to overcome the situation, because you are going to need strength here. You are, because I think what's happening is whatever relationship situation you have going on right now, it's in the need to be completely transformed, and that means both people are changing from the inside out. Yeah. And so there's a deciding if you guys can grow together or come apart. But I think either way, Pisces, even if you don't stay with this particular person or this situation, either this situation is going to change into something that you need, that fits your brand new self, your new life, your new vibe, your new inner strength. Either this relationship is going to step up and grow with you, or it's going to lead you into the next situation, which is very much destined to happen for you. Either way, I'm sensing good stuff here. I sense like you're headed in the right direction. Oh my God, 45 minutes. Longest reading ever. I really felt like Pisces was just going to flow on through. No problem. Let's get you an animal card really quick, an astrology card, just to confirm this energy. Yeah, so High Priestess, and what do you get? The Owl. There's a knowing, Pisces. You already know. I think your intuition is just pulling you into the exact direction. Wow. There's such a duality here. Let me see if they're going to give you another card, because this one came shooting out. This Black Moon Lilith. 12th house, mystery. So yeah, there again lies a triggering from a painful situation. You know, Black Moon Lilith, she exudes in us where we seek revenge. But in the seeking revenge, in the areas of our life where people really hurt us, they really create these deep wounds. But deep wounds is where we open up. It's where we allow the healing. So again, there's a healing that occurs. Yeah. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. And look at all this blue coming through in here. There's like a purple, which is like a majestic divinity, and then this blue, which represents communication. And the same colors are coming through in this owl. So I think you know you're being healed right now, Pisces. I think you know there's a form of transformation, of forgiveness for your past. Like I said, you're just stepping over all of that old stuff, plowing right through it, getting through that healing, leading you to the grand trine, the blessings. So right now the healing is bringing you so much blessing. You're aiming right for the Emperor. You're aiming right from no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. There's such a divine inner strength and inner knowing in your ability to make decisions. This is a beautiful energy. Pisces, I knew when I looked at your stuff this morning, I knew there was so much potential for change and transformation here, but this is really powerful. I feel really excited for you. All right, Pisces, that's it. Almost an hour I spent with you this morning. I really appreciate it. I love my time with you. Be gentle with yourself. Honor the knowing of when to stay quiet and when to go within and when to start to talk. Try not to block off communication too much, but also allow the quietness. I'll see you in 2 weeks. We're going to talk about the next 2 weeks, which I think are going to be really transformative, a lot of action for you. All right. Have a wonderful beginning of March. Talk to you later.